I say come give me the drama. Like a neck full of diamonds, nigga, that's on my mama. Whoever want it can get it. Whoever doubt me is living. See, I've been ballin' on these haters.
Yizzo, what's poppin'? It's your boy Shabazz the OG. Welcome to another edition of the Pull Up. This is gonna be a little different. You know, a lot of times, you know, you see me on Instagram on my platform and talking about social injustices and a lot of the things that go on within the culture and in our society. You know, we be coming across a lot of unfair shit. We've seen cases where, you know, people are presumptuously accused, wrongfully accused, you know, and then a lot of times just flat out lied upon. And a lot of people don't understand, man, like those changes that drastically enter into a person's life, you know, could really fuck things up for them. Their life, their careers, their money, their livelihoods. And at the end of the day, for a lack of a better term and just putting it in layman's terms, it's fucked up. It's not cool. My guest today is from my hometown, Shawn Oakman, football standout, on his way to being a celebrity in the league. Was gonna go first round in the top 10, should have came out in 2016 to go to the league from Baylor University. But instead, he's sitting here with me today to tell me how he was wrongfully accused, explain to y'all some of the things that led up to those events prior to, during, and what's going on after that. Again, Philadelphia native, North Philadelphia stand up, Shawn Oakman. Thanks for coming, dog. What's still?
Too easy.
What bring you to Miami?
Working. You know, come out here a lot to train.
Okay.
You know, got a lot of people out here. Show me a lot of love.
Copy that.
You know.
I know you got some business shit going on out here, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
You know, after the fact. You know, man, I like to say, as opposed to beating around the bush, you know, I like to dive straight in and just get to the, you know, to the meat and potatoes of the situation. You started at Penn State. For your college career. 2011 in Penn State. From Penn State, you ended up at Baylor.
Yes, sir.
Now, there were some incidents that took place prior to you making it to Baylor that kind of put a black eye on your name. Mm-hmm. A lot of people didn't get a chance, or most people didn't get a chance to hear your side of those events. So I'll start with the first one. The first incident that, you know, when I was brought abreast to you and your situation.
It's kind of clean cut, you know. I attempted to steal a sandwich at a very tender time in Penn State community. Joe Paterno was
2011.
In 2011.
Right.
Joe Paterno was just fired. A new staff came in. Bill O'Brien and his staff came in that are currently at Houston, and he had a no tolerance policy. You know.
Now, what was this person's position?
Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
He was the head coach. He was the head coach of Penn State at that time.
So after Joe Paterno, with all the Sandusky shit
thing, he got fired, let go, and this mid-season, we in the middle of the season.
And you was playing at the time?
No, I wasn't. I was a redshirt freshman.
Oh, okay, you was a freshman. Okay.
Number one recruit for Penn State at that time. But they fired our coach, bring in a new coach, and it was a no tolerance policy. You know, I was prime real estate to you know, set an example for it. If he can't do it, damn sure ain't nobody else gonna do it.
Right. We got a zero tolerance policy, and we're gonna show y'all that we're standing on that, and we're gonna make Shawn Oakman an example. We don't care how much of a good football player.
I stole a sandwich because, you know, I was hungry, I ain't had a means. But I don't think me being kicked off a football team justified, you know, the repercussions that I had to go through, even though it may have been the best situation that could ever happen to me.
Right. Let me ask you a question with the sandwich incident, because they didn't say it was just you took the sandwich. They involved the cashier.
Cashier
and say that
assault,
it was a physical altercation between you and the female cashier. She tried to stop you, and
they eventually charged me with assault, theft, assault and 2 counts of theft, which eventually got discharged because it wasn't that. I really didn't even steal the sandwich. By the time I got caught, we're standing in front of the cashier. The cashier has my ID card, my swipe card. You know, knowing that I'm on a no tolerance policy, I attempted to take my card back. I grabbed her wrist, take my card back.
so you was about to pay for the
I
sandwich?
was about to, so I had a sandwich and a juice.
Okay.
I had $1.50 on my card. I had my sandwich in my jacket. Somebody came from the back, said, "What you gonna do with that sandwich?" I'm like, "What sandwich?" "All right, bet, you got me, cool." Just put the sandwich on the table, just gave my ID back.
Got it.
So I took my ID, left.
Because the card was only going to pay for the juice. So since they already peeped game about the sandwich, you knew you wasn't going to get both. You knew you wasn't going to get one or the other. So now, fuck it, give me my card back. Okay. I just wanted to understand where the physical altercation came in at. So go ahead.
Grabbed the wrist, took my card, left the vicinity. Monday morning come, knock on my door, boom, boom, boom. Bill O'Brien, assistants there. Come to the office, 6 a.m. in the morning, go to the office. Bill O'Brien tell me, clean the cut, you're not gonna be on this football team no more. I accepted my punishment like a man. My defensive line coach, Larry Johnson, took me in his office. And he said he was gonna find a school for me. I didn't know what school, I didn't know where I was going. And that's how I ended up at Baylor at that time.
So Baylor knew about the incident and they was able to get around that and still welcome you to their facility.
I paid my fines. I attempted to steal a sandwich. You know, I grabbed a girl wrist without her consent. So
Right.
those are all the things I did do. So it was a misdemeanor. It was a misdemeanor that, you know, I had to pay my fines for and get it off my record.
Got it. Okay. Incident 1. Incident 2 that I read about, a situation with a female at what they say was her residence. I think the charge was picked her up under the armpits, threw her against a brick wall and some cabinets, and basically assaulted her in her house.
Yeah, it was just, you know, you go through so much in life, and you get a lot of one-sided stories. You know, you get articles that people write, and you never get both sides of the story. I was never at her house. If you ever go to my home in Waco, Texas, you know I don't have any brick walls.
Right.
You know, in
So you wasn't even at her house.
You know, sir. You know, the cabinets that's in my house are in the kitchen. You know, my bedroom is right in front of the front door.
Right.
I put her out of my house. She went home. Called the police.
Put her out meaning asked her to get out, bitch, get the fuck out, or you're not moving fast enough, let me give you some assistance.
Nah, open the door, you gotta go. You don't want to
Didn't touch her.
No, I did. You don't want to leave, the door's wide open. So I picked her up under her armpits, just like I could pick you up or anybody else. Pick you up, place you outside.
Right.
And close my door and lock it. You don't want to leave.
Right.
I'm not a person. We're not people that call the cops. It's just that simple.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I mean, listen, and it ain't no judgment here. I prefer, because when you told me, like, you never, because you said you couldn't talk about this stuff while it was going on.
No.
So, I always know, regardless of how egregious something sound, how offensive it sound, when you're dealing with men and women and violence and physical altercations, it's still, everything starts and stops somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
You understand what I'm saying? Of course, you're gonna have people who gonna say, "A man should not touch a woman in any shape, form, or fashion," and I get that. But then if you in my house and I'm asking you, "Can you please leave?" and you doing everything other than what I'm asking you to do, it's like, damn, what am I left to do? Now you're gonna have those people that's gonna say you shouldn't call the cops.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You could definitely go back and try to figure out another way to do it. But
Right, and that was gonna be my next question to you, with this incident, the sandwich incident, those two incidents before we get to incident 3, those two incidents
could have been prevented.
And if you
each one could have been prevented,
and you take responsibility for them.
I take responsibility for them now.
Did you then?
I did.
You did.
On the chin.
Copy. So when they asked the question of if you had a chance to do it differently in both situations, you would do something different.
Not at all.
You would do the same thing again.
Same thing again.
You'll pick her up, sit her out the house.
You come from an environment where your peace is all you had.
Right.
I'm not hurting anybody. I'm protecting myself. You're being belligerent in my home. You have to go.
Right.
You don't want to leave. I'm not going to drag you. I'm not going to pull you by your hair. I'm big enough to put you over my shoulder, pick you up any form of fashion. But I didn't choose to grip her up, put her in her head like, no.
I ain't mad at that.
There you go. Bye.
I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that. See, and that's to the critics who say a man shouldn't touch a woman. Period. Like, nah. Like,
there's a respect boundary that everybody has to have.
Everybody gotta have it. And then at the end of the day, like you said something important. I didn't drag her, didn't pull her by her hair, wasn't trying to hurt her. I just want you out my house.
That's it.
You know what I mean? I'm 6'47", 982,000 pounds. I can get you out my house without going through too much. And I don't want to call the cops.
For what?
I don't want to have to call the police. I don't want the police. I can handle this. I can get you out my house peacefully. And then you go do whatever it is that you're going to do. But here is where you got to leave. I ain't mad at that. Obviously, the sandwich situation, admittedly, college student, you got $1.50.
I was a kid.
You know what I'm saying? Making kid mistakes. You know what I mean? These are things, and these are the things that we consistently watch, other ethnicities of students do way more. And this is not to make racial comparisons all the time, but we can't help but make those comparisons because they exist.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I don't care what nobody said. A star white athlete that stole a sandwich is not getting kicked off no motherfucking team.
You're not gonna hear about it.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
You're not gonna hear about it.
It's not happening. I don't see it. I don't see. And to you, the listeners, the viewers, if anybody can prove me wrong and say no, Shabazz, there was a star quarterback or there was a star wide receiver or cornerback or somebody else that was white, star point guard who did something that was a misdemeanor in college and was supposed to go pro, was a high draft choice, highly scouted. Tell me who that person was that was not black who committed an identical or similar offense and was kicked off the team. Y'all let me know if I overlooked something. You make it to Baylor. How was it when you first got there?
Beautiful. Best place I ever could be. Place where I could be me. Had to sit out my first year, learning experience, red shirt again. So I sat out 2 years before I actually got to play. Third year of college, coming off the bench, leading the team in tackles for loss.
Defensive end, right?
Defensive end. Fourth year, starter, lead the league in sacks. Senior year, break the all-time leading sack record. Projected to go first round. Can't ask for nothing more. 2 big back-to-back Big 12 championships. The only thing we didn't win was a national.
And then another gut shot.
Boom.
What happened?
I'm accused of sexual assault 2 weeks before the NFL draft, a week before my birthday.
2 weeks before the NFL draft, you projected to go.
Top 10.
A week before your birthday, you
Big
get
Phil.
accused of sexual assault.
April 2nd, 2016.
What's going through your mind?
Can't be. Can't be. Impossible. Not me. For what? I ain't got no reason to.
Right.
Get anything I want. I have anything I want.
Because I'm sure at the time you BMOC.
Whatever I want.
Big man on campus, for
Whatever
those
I
that
want.
don't know. You know what I mean?
Whatever I want.
North Philly swag.
I ain't want nothing though. North Philly.
I mean,
nothing.
North Philly swag.
I'm in the crib, chilling.
You know, don't want for nothing. You know what I mean? We can get ladies, we can't get nothing to eat. I'm from West Philly though, you know, just saying, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you got that, again, for what?
Mm-hmm. It was a random night, you know, pro day over, just chilling. Literally, I'm saying 2 weeks before the draft, not doing nothing.
You get arrested.
In the crib, a young lady invited me out, texting me, weird text, you know, are you in town? Yeah, I'm in town. Are you coming out? Not really, no. She invited me out to a local bar, which is actually right behind my house. Can't be more than 300 feet. You can see it, you can touch it. It's that close to my house. Local bar. She invited me out, so I look at my friends, we sitting around something like this. We like, you know, I don't want to go out. I mean, I don't go out. Since that Penn State incident, I changed the way I move completely.
Right.
It wasn't no going out, it wasn't partying, it wasn't drinking, it was nothing. I stayed in the house. I mean, go out every once in a while. Gotta be a special occasion. But I was off my bumper. I came out that night, she invited me out, I came out, posted. Just in a bar, standing by the bar, you know, got people walking up to you, running up to you. Like you said, POC. I mean, just want to talk, want to get your vibe, whatever. She comes in, stands right beside me the whole entire night. Asked her what she doing after the club. She said, come with me. I said, cool. We leave, me, my roommate, and her. Leave the bar at the same exact time.
You did this twice. Me,
my roommate, and her, because that's how we left. Just like that. I had my roommate one in one hand, because I'm not leaving the club by myself, especially with no girl.
Do this roommate. Do the
My
roommate
roommate.
bleed once a month?
Huh?
Do the roommate bleed once a month?
Nah. I just need protection because you never.
Oh,
know.
that's a man.
Yeah, that's a grown man. That's a grown man.
I didn't know if you left with
Nah,
two young
nah,
names.
nah.
I was just trying to get the understanding because
my
the arm.
roommate.
I
It's
left
just-
with my roommate and I left with her.
You know,
my mind goes straight to the gutter. He
It's
left
security.
with two chicks.
It's security process. You know,
All
just
right.
thinking like he's right here. I'm not gonna get accused of forcing nobody into my house. I'm not gonna get accused of anything of that nature because I have a standing witness. That's my thinking. We get literally, I'm trying to tell you how close it is, 300 feet, not far. Get to my house, he walks back to the bar. Go pick up him up, girl. We standing in front of my door, she talking. Finally get in my house. She puts me up against my living room wall, drop my pants to my J's, and started giving me oral sex. I noticed.
Big man on campus supposed to get oral sex without asking. That's how it goes. Go ahead.
I noticed one of my friends, teammates, pulling up to my house. Got a big living room window. I noticed truck lights. So I know they're pulling us up. I told her to get up, go to the bedroom. She goes to the bedroom. He comes in. Got an open house policy. You know, if you come in my house, you know, I know you, you know me. It ain't even nothing said. So I gave him eye contact when he walked in. He gave me eye contact. You know what I mean? Let him know it was good. He could stay there. You know what I mean? We proceeded to have sex in my bedroom. She got up, got dressed, left. I got up, hopped in the shower, left. Next thing you know, I'm getting a phone call at 6 o'clock in the morning from my roommate talking about the cops at the house. I'm like, what you do? I'm like, they ain't here for me, they're here for you. It's impossible.
Right. Yeah. What did you do? Because
It's impossible.
them being there for you is the furthest thing from your mind.
You can't touch me. For what? A week before my birthday that I'm about to go turn up in Philly, shut Philly down, and 2 weeks before the biggest promotion I ever had in my life. Like, you can't really beat that.
Right.
So why would I slip up? I mean, the slippage was going outside. The slippage was not sticking to that routine. You know what I mean? There was no reason to go outside that day. Just because a girl that, you know, I had a relationship with texted me and told me to come out. That was the slippage, you know. And so he said, come back to the house. I came back. The cops are already there in my house. They asked me, was you with such and such last night? Yes, I was. Did you have sex with such and such last night? Yes, I did. What should accuse you of sexual assault? I said, impossible.
Did you beat it up? Maybe that's what it was. Like you beat it up.
I beat it up, but like.
But you didn't beat it up.
No, I beat it up. I'm a grown man. You know.
Beat it up.
And
It's a different type of assault, but I get it. Not an illegal assault.
Nah, it was 100% consensual. You know.
Gotcha.
But they said she accused me of sexual assault, so I called her immediately. Called her twice. Bing, no answer. Bing, no answer. Called my agent. Even a lawyer number. Called the lawyer. Lawyer said don't say nothing to the police. Ever since then, I ain't say nothing to nobody for 3 years. Wasn't nothing to say. I had to go through 2 lawyers before I went to a public.
So they locked you up?
Not immediately. It was just the next procedure after you accuse you. You know what I mean? They're gonna go get their sex kit. They're gonna go take your sheets. They're gonna go take all your clothes, and they're gonna come back. They came back probably like a week later with a warrant for my arrest.
So you got locked up a week later.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's your birthday.
Yeah.
And a week out from go time.
Mm-hmm.
They lock you up.
Locked me up.
For how long?
2 to 3 days till my agent come get me. I'm just sitting in there, just real still. Get out, go straight to the house. He leave. I don't see him since. People I was cool with, you know, people that could say something on my character, people that I lived with, you know, people that I stayed with, you know, real well-known people. Said nothing for 3 years until February 28th, 2019. I found not guilty in 45 minutes.
Say that again?
Until February 28th of 2019, I'm found not guilty in 45 minutes.
Yeah, I read that. So this go on for 3 years, back and forth. And then finally in February 2019, you found not guilty.
In 45 minutes.
45 minutes of deliberation. Because I read that. They said that whatever kits they performed or whatever their process is, they found the sex to be consensual.
And all her statements, every statement she wrote multiple statements. From the first officer to the rape kit specialist to all her friends. Every statement said she didn't give me oral sex. The day the defense, the day my team goes, we get her rape kit test. She had semen in her mouth. She gets on stand and say, I didn't give him oral sex.
Semen in your mouth. Just from walking in the rain, I guess.
Or wiping your face with a cop.
And,
which her team tried to say. You know?
She wiped her face with a towel with semen on it, and it got in her mouth.
Yeah, that's what her defense tried to say.
And the jury wasn't going.
Didn't go.
Right. See, I want people to understand something. I know I'm adding a little satire and sarcasm to what I'm saying, but I'm not making light of sexual assault. I'm making light of this situation because I already know the bitch was lying. I already know she was full of shit. So this is why I'm putting jokes in the mix of what we talking about. So I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way, like I'm making light of sexual misconduct. But since I already know the outcome of this, and I know she was full of shit and it's awful, that's why I'm making these little inside jokes, just so y'all understand.
There's definitely nothing light about sexual assault, you know. My mother been raped as a child. Came
Right.
with my oldest brother, my sister been raped. So I take it very seriously.
Right. No, absolutely. And not guilty verdict comes back.
Yeah.
Who apologizes?
Nobody.
The school,
Nobody.
the police,
Nobody.
the agent.
Nobody.
So it's just, damn, she was lying. Cool, my bad.
Hey,
NFL don't reach out.
I had one tryout with the Saints.
How did that go?
Not too good. 3 years off of fighting for my life. You know.
Right. No real working out, no real training. She was rusty.
I mean, I was everything. I was drinking. I had to keep a roof over my head. I ain't had no means. I had literally, I'm placed in a situation where I can't leave a county where don't nobody know me. You're just reading articles, seeing me on ESPN, and everybody that's in such a small community such as Waco, Texas, he's being judged from miles away. I mean, before he even step in the door to try to sign up for an interview. I mean, we already know who he is. He's been the face of our university, so it's easy to say no. I mean, and so I had to work random ass jobs. I had to do whatever I had to do just to live.
Right. So from February 28, 2019.
I've been on it.
Meaning?
I've been on my grind. I've been on my hustle. On all aspects. Training.
Right.
Eating. Living. You know. Right.
How old are you now?
28.
28. You still want to go to the league?
I want to eat. That's what gives me joy. That's what gives me like that inner peace. You know, just as much as, you know, some of my new platforms. You know, such as my Open Obstacle. I created this platform called Open Obstacles because there's a ton of people I reached out to try to get a word of advice from.
Okay.
You know, a ton of football players, a ton of people that could try to talk to me about what I'm going through. Just a conversation. And I couldn't get a reply back from nobody. And I said, I don't want to be that person. I had plenty of people come up to me and ask me for advice. And so now I'm just putting it on a platform. You know, I'm trying to take whatever obstacle they had and open it wide up and solve it by any means possible.
Right. I mean, because at the end of the day, you know, people can say what they want about incident 1, incident 2, you know, and, you know, ultimately incident 3, which was the most egregious and, you know, most offensive. And you was acquitted. She was found to be lying. So in the perfect world, you would think, okay, she was lying. Everything that was taken away from me should be given back to me.
You should think that way.
The opportunities that I lost should be represented to me.
Not in this community.
Right. This society, even.
Society,
in this society. But here's the twist. Do you believe that football being something that you wanted, loved, got a burning desire for, and then now after the fact, you have open obstacles, and then you have another business venture that we're going to discuss briefly. Do you think that you just might have been redirected and you had a different calling?
I mean, you definitely, they say you make a plan, that's when God gonna laugh in your face. So
that's why I was going with it.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I think it's definitely a direction, but I'm gonna still strive for what I want.
Right, exactly.
I want it.
That's the point.
You know what I mean?
I'm glad you said that.
My open obstacles is something that God directed me to.
Right.
Because of the injustice that I felt at that time. I don't want nobody to feel that type of neglect.
And that's what's important. Like that's what I wanted to hear you say, because sometimes, like you said, we plan, God's plan is greater. And open obstacles is not something that you have to do instead of. It's something that you could be doing in addition to what you want and what you strive for. So you definitely ought to be commended for maintaining, remaining humble, not losing it. Because like you could have just went off on a whole tangent and really fucked it all up.
That's what they want.
I mean, you could have just like, you knew she was lying. She knew she was lying.
3 years is a long time to stay cool.
You know what I mean? And not say nothing.
Not be able to say nothing.
You know, and not just completely fuck your whole life up.
Yeah.
So you definitely ought to be commended for that. You're to be commended for being able to transition from understanding like, damn, this ain't gonna happen right now, but I'm gonna go do this, you know, as a preventative measure for other people, plus another outlet for myself. Now, in addition to open obstacles, before I let you go, you have another business entity that you pursue.
And we're trying to open up a little cigar lounge, little smooth R&B, you know, some real grown.
Here in Miami.
Nice. Here in Miami, actually in Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good place for it. You know, man, Shawn, it's a lot of times, man, and I say this quite often, sometimes life is not about our experiences and our successes. It's not about what you do sometimes. Sometimes it's about what you're willing to do. So, meaning, you might be trying to obtain or achieve something, and you might not want to take a specific job, but because you don't look down on that job, because you don't think you better than that job, because you were willing to take that job, just because you was willing to do it, you didn't even end up having to do it, but you was willing. And because you was willing, you was blessed to be able to obtain or achieve something else, because you showed that humility of, you know what, football is not owed to me. I want it. I feel like I got robbed of it, but it's not owed to me. What happened to me was wrong, wasn't cool, and now everyone who didn't know now know that it was wrong, what happened to me. But I'm not gonna cry, I'm not going, woe is me. I'm gonna still pursue what I want, but I'm gonna do this over here as well. Like I said, not instead of, but in addition to. So you got open obstacles, and then you pursuing opening a cigar lounge.
Open a cigar lounge, writing a book. Might be casting in a show later in October. So, I'm doing a lot.
And you want to pull up with Shabazz the OG. How motherfucking hot is that?
You can't
get what I'm saying?
Can't get too much better than that.
You know what I mean?
You just try to grow from those situations. Every situation is a learning situation. So I definitely learned from it. I try to move like the president, but now you got to move like Hov. So it's totally different. It's totally different.
No, I mean, listen, man. We all come from something. Everybody has done something that if they could undo it, they would. Everybody comes from failure. Everybody comes from bad decision making. It's what builds character. It's what makes people who they are. And some people's skeleton bones are sharper than others. But at the end of the day, we got it. Now, how you deal with adversity, how you overcome negative aspects and experiences in your life. That's what matters. You know what I'm saying? It is, sometimes it ain't what you do, it's how you get through. You know what I mean? So you definitely ought to be commended, for being resilient, remaining cool, understanding that that incident didn't define you, because I don't know a lot of people, myself included, who would have been able to just remain in a space of positivity knowing somebody trying to really fuck my life up for some shit that I really didn't do. Like, I think rape and pedophilia is the two worst things on the planet.
Yeah,
a rapist and a pedophile are two of the worst things that you could be labeled, next to being a thief. So sometimes those titles getting hung on a person, it's hard to get them off.
Nah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But
But
my dark nights, my dark days.
you come from a tough city. You come from a city that's known for fighting, having a lot of heart, and you were driven, you were determined, and you didn't let that obstacle stop you, man. You opened up obstacles, and now opening up a cigar lounge, writing a book, looking to get casted. Beat don't stop. You got to keep on, man. I appreciate you checking in with me, man, and sharing your story with everybody, man. I hope people get a real understanding. Like, just because you read it don't mean it really happened. Just because they said it don't make it true. You really got to understand both sides of the situation. So many people get acclimated and accustomed to just listening to the woman's side of the story as it relates to sexual assault. And this ain't the first time we've heard about a woman who's accused a man of sexual assault for whatever the reason, and then it turns out to be that she's not being truthful. So let this serve as another example that just because a woman said it, don't mean it took place. Thanks for hanging out with me again, Shawn. Shawn Oakman, doing his thing. Shabazz the OG, pull up, we gone.